Hey, Nick Marzak with Full Compass. I'm going to talk to Greg Grunberg. You've seen him in everything. He's an actor who's been in Alias, Heroes, Star Wars, Star Trek, Felicity. He's been in everything, and he's, full disclosure, one of my closest friends in the world.
Father, which is something you know nothing about. You don't know what it's like to fight for someone that you love.
Approaching target.
Freshen that up for you. Was it vodka martini?
Yeah. 30 seconds ago, I got a call about an evacuation due to an anthrax attack.
The time we hit turbulence, we were 1,000 miles off course.
This is a thing where we have to, whenever the other person's talking, we have to drink.
Just so everybody knows that you're a real ventriloquist, that you can actually, that this dummy actually has a voice.
Not a dummy.
So you've been talking to some like heavyweights, some big voiceover people. Voiceover to me is just, it's another creative expression. It's another creative outlet. It's another job. It's another avenue. It's another vertical. Mm-hmm. And I know I have a decent voice. They call me Square Wave Grunberg because that's the way it shows up on the thing.
Do you just have your compressors turned up too high? And it's just cutting off? Yeah.
Exactly. I was born in auto-tune for this voice.
Greg Grunberg submitting for...
Exactly. Yeah. When I cried, I came out of the womb and I was like, A lot of products, you know this from just talking to anybody in the work you do, they want average voice. They want the everyday voice. They want the real voice. And my voice sometimes just already sounds announcery. You know, I was the voice of A&E for a couple of years. That was awesome because every morning I'd get up in the morning and it would be like, I'm reading it. It's like, today on Duck Dynasty. And it was just, you know, it was awesome. And I loved it. And I've done a bunch of that kind of stuff. And I've been in a bunch of games.
Video games is such this like offshoot of voiceover, especially, or even voiceover itself. Like for a working actor, are you prioritizing voiceover? Or is it just kind of you'll take it and every now and then something hits?
Dude, I'm getting older, and voiceover is something that I'll be able to do for the rest of my life. So yes, as long as my voice stays healthy and so does my mind, I absolutely do want to do that. I am fortunate. You like my voice or hate my voice, it's kind of a unique voice. I'd be in line at, I was just in New Mexico shooting this new show for HBO. And I go to get coffee, and I'm in the line. And I order my coffee, and the woman in back of me hasn't seen my face. And she's like, oh, my God, Greg Grunberg? So that has happened a number of times. When that happens, I know,
She just saw the back of your head?
Yeah. She was like, I recognize that bald spot.
Were you eating Cheetos like The Star is Born? I'm trying to think of where you've been framed that way.
Oh, a lot. Trust me, I am the best backter, you know.
Backter.
Yeah, my backting is fantastic. I'm not a hacker. I'm a backter. No, she recognized my voice, and I was like, wow, that's ridiculous. So to answer your question, like to get into the voiceover world, number one, a lot of these people are your age, and they've seen stuff that I've done, Star Wars, Star Trek, whatever, and they're like, oh, it'd be really cool to have him on. They're not going to, the roles that I do, the ND characters, some of the stuff in Halo that I've done and all other places, it's like, it's just a nondescript kind of like guy driving a ship or doing whatever.
Get down, everybody.
Yeah. But my point is when I do the ND stuff, they're not going to advertise the game based on Greg Grunberg. I mean, what? I'm not the star of it. And most of the games, I don't look like myself. But they'll recognize my voice. So my point is like, just like my face, people go, oh, they're comfortable with me. So it's like, yeah, make him the sheriff or make him the guy. That has been a definite step in, an open window for me, open door to some of these voiceover jobs. And then others, I mean, I'm just out there grinding like everybody else, man. It's, you know, you're interviewing some of these people that are the five guys in the limo, the top five people they're out there doing the voices and the this and that. I haven't broken through in that yet. I thought the A&E thing, I was like, all right, here we go. Now I'm going to be Michelob Golden Draft. I'll be the next guy. You know, no. I was 2 years. It was great, or a year and a half or whatever, and then they move on to somebody else.
I remember being up for a Tostitos commercial, because you never know. You don't know, especially with commercial reads. You have no idea how long they're going to go, what the thing is, but there's the timing of it. I'm like, the Super Bowl is coming up. What is this? Is this radio? Like sometimes you don't even know that.
Yeah.
And this one was so buttoned up. And it was this campaign. It was like, share the salsa, Stuart. Just share it. That was like and it was me. It was pinning me, pinning another guy. The other guy got it. As
always
as
happens.
Hollywood works. And that was a multi-year Super Bowl. Like,
all right.
and
I didn't want to say, but that was me. Pass the salsa, Sam. That's what it changed to. I never stick to the script, so I change it.
No, I know you don't. I kind of wanted to talk about that too, and also like how you approach voice. Is there a difference between how you approach a voice sides? Let's get into like the audition side first. The voice sides versus on camera sides.
Yeah. So for voiceover auditions, I will never sit down. I stand up and I pretend that I'm on camera. I memorize it as best I can. Just to give an example. So I just shot a couple of scenes, right, in Mexico for this new show. And I shot them and they were great. And that same day we had a table read. So I shot the scenes and then I was still in makeup and everything, went into my trailer for lunch, and we're all in our trailers on Wi-Fi doing this for HBO and for everybody else. Table read of the episode I just shot. So now I'm reading.
Why are you table reading an episode you're already shooting?
Because it's the first day of the new block.
Got
so
it. Okay.
And it's not till lunch.
Yeah.
And I happen to be in those two scenes. So I did those two scenes. I was so proud of the work. It was great. Now I'm reading them. Horrible. Because I'm reading them. I'm looking at the words. It's got to be natural. It's got to be in your head.
Yeah.
So, as much as you and I are laughing that I don't really stick to the script, I do. But I know it so well that I can make it my own. And I can, it's like a lot of people, they'll look at sides or they'll look at the script and it's just written out. A good actor will not put it all caps when they want it emphasized or underlined or exclamation. You know the point of the scene.
Yeah.
You're a real person in that scene.
Yeah.
So let that come out through the performance.
Yeah.
If they don't get it, that's the director's job to come in and go, look, you got to be a little bit more, you got to be more, whatever. So it was just interesting because I finished the table read and I was like, oh my God. Like, I'm sure glad I already shot this. I would have been replaced. It was everybody was like that though.
You were still in makeup and costume for the table read?
Yes.
Did
and
people
my
like,
suit from
wow,
the 70s.
he came prepared for
It's just a tale. You got the gig. You got the gig. You don't have to kiss anybody's butt anymore. I mean, it's funny because Josh Holloway's in it.
Yeah.
Keith David and me and Rachel Hilson.
Wow,
and
what a cast.
It's a great cast. Corbin Burnson. It's amazing. And it was, we were all, I mean, not all, but not great. When you're reading.
Yeah.
So to answer your question, when you get those sides, I try to make it as natural as possible, plus especially for the audition. It goes back to years ago when I was doing commercial auditions. I'm going up against a million guys that sound like me. I've actually had auditions for voiceovers where it said a Greg Grunberg type. They like my voice. And I'm like, why don't they hire me?
Yeah.
Very rare, but I've seen it twice.
That's so funny. I was talking to Elias Tefexis.
Yeah.
He said the same thing. He'll get sides that say Elias Tefexis type. And he's like, how is
our
this not
prototype.
offer only?
I know.
Yeah.
Well, so Elias he's the man. Like he's got a major career in this.
Yeah,
like,
he pinned that video game. He has this like kind of raspy. Like, he could be a evil guy or a good guy that's kind of gritty. Like he's just perfect for that stuff.
So good, and so that I understand because that's something he's in this world a lot more than I am. But people know my face, so they know my name and my face. So anyway, it is a blessing and a curse. It's like when you see that now, I'm like, wait a minute, I got to be the best version of me that I can be. I got to convince them that I'm the Greg Grunberg type they're looking for. That also happened in because I did Star Wars, and then Lego Star Wars animation came out, and they just assumed I wouldn't do it. They did that with all the actors. They were like, well, they're not going to voice. I'm not going to voice Snap Wexley. That's my character, and they don't pay.
Yeah.
So they're not going to pay to have me, the real actor, do these Lego.
Yeah.
And I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, this is a legacy thing. This is something that is going to live on forever. It's a game.
That reminds me of your good buddy, Bradley Cooper. For War Dogs, the ADR, they have to shoot all the swear words.
Oh, yeah.
And so for the two lead actors that I won't mention, I don't know if I'm allowed to or not, but they couldn't for various reasons or didn't want to do their ADR to cover up the swear words. So they hired me to mimic both of them for all the lines. And I show up to the studio in Santa Monica. It was beautiful ADR studio, but it was huge. With 6 mics on me, depending on what you need, and a lav. And I'm doing I think I had like 300 lines because they swore so much in that film.
Oh my God.
And in walks Bradley Cooper
to do
his ADR. And they were just like, the producers were like, yeah, dude, he's awesome. He just, what do you need? Yeah, I'll come down. And
the way it should be.
And yeah, so like I could see that there are there's the Hollywood.
The thing is, he doesn't always do that, but when he finds out that you're the guy that's going to replace him, he's like, no way. No way. I don't want my performance ruined by this schlub. No, Bradley's like that. I mean, he is like that. Look,
and you're like that. Like,
yes.
You love the thing. You love, like, you know.
It's the process. Yeah. Every part of it I love. I was talking to JJ Abrams, right?
Yep.
We both know. I've known him my whole life. These are hurdles.
Mm-hmm.
Even at his level, he is pitching an idea. He's not shooting it.
Yeah.
He's pitching it. They, of course, want it, but it's still...
Who would he be pitching it to? Because Bad Robot's so self-contained.
Yeah, but Bad Robot doesn't finance their own projects.
I see. Okay, yeah. So the
So
studios, or
whatever
financiers.
studio.
Yep. I was going to say, is he just...
No, but
he
there's
gets
the
up to the other
studio.
side of the table. It's not bad. He comes
No,
back.
it's Amir. He's pitching to Amir, a guy named Amir, who has all the money in Hollywood. We were just talking about it's all a bunch of hurdles.
Yeah.
Some of them are higher than others, but you've got to get over that hurdle. And you can't go, I'm not going to change this. Like, I'm not going to, like, for a voiceover audition, I'm not going to, like, this is not the way I'm ultimately going to do it. So I'm not going to do No. You just have to get past these people.
Yeah.
They have to want you.
Yeah.
Then you're all going to collaborate when you're actually doing it. They're going to be like, you know what? That doesn't roll off your tongue as easily. Let's try it your way and see. Just get past that hurdle. People get so stuck up on that stuff where they get hung up on it's got to be perfect right now. Scripts get written and rewritten, and so do performances, so do auditions, so do voiceovers.
Yep.
So,
You have a deep voice. You have definitely a character to your voice, and you can go down there.
Yeah, a little bit.
But you also can do some like
I can get up here. I mean, I can definitely do that. There's no problem. It's not as natural to me.
Yeah.
But then that's what I was saying is a lot of times it just automatically sounds like I'm doing a voice when I do my voice. So I have to soften it up. And you've helped me with that when I've asked you for advice and stuff. I mean, honestly, it's like, how do I want to make it more natural. I mean, that's the other thing is I think in this community, what's great is having a support system, having people that you can read with in an audition, read opposite or whatever. But yeah, sometimes it's losing that quality in my voice is the hardest part to get past. I'll lose it for the audition, that that part of my voice that you can hear or whatever, is that baritone quality. And then I'll get there and they'll be like, yeah, let's bring that deepness. We love that richness in your voice. I'm like, oh my God. So it's hard because the audition sheet, and then you're talking, you're working with somebody at the casting place. They've been given marching orders.
Yep.
They pass those on to you. It's like a telephone, playing telephone.
And eventually it just narrows down to whoever's directing, and then you just listen to them.
Yes.
Because all that other stuff is noise. Even specs, I complain all the time about spec sheets where it's like, we want it to sound like this and this. I said yesterday, like Christopher Walken meets Leslie Jones. And you're like...
Oh my God, that's hilarious. That's a great comparison.
And that's the, like...
What? You can hear the walking in there a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
and they're just like,
God.
you don't know what to, like, how do you approach the spec sheets? How much consideration are you giving, or what are you extracting, I guess is the better...
It's so, I just saw Bill Hader talks about this, where he's like, write a script and give it to your friends. If they have problems, listen to the problems. But not their solutions. Every one of the solutions they give you is wrong.
Yeah.
So when you get a spec sheet for a voiceover, when I get a spec sheet for a voiceover, I look at the intention. Sometimes they're not the greatest at explaining it.
Yeah.
And they over-explain it.
Yeah.
I mean, God, some of the stuff, it's like, we want it in hushed tones, yet really strong. We want, an announcer voice, yet soft and meek.
Natural.
But not natural.
Yeah.
And this and this. And we want it to be beautiful and ugly at the same time. And you're like, what are you doing? Come on.
Yeah.
So it's good when they say an Elias type or this type or that type. So you can actually hear it. A lot of the times, the best jobs I like is when they give you a reference. Like the person that used to do this doesn't do this anymore. Like I'm sure it was with A&E. But, it's like Greg Grunberg no longer our voiceover guy.
I took that one from you.
You did? Okay, perfect.
Yeah, we switched.
But, even if I have a reference or a tone. I'm doing a podcast right now for Felicity, right? That's a lot of voiceover, a lot of, it's a podcast, but we're talking about the years on that show, and we've had different people come in, and we had Jennifer Garner. We were talking about how at the beginning of a show like Felicity, none of us knew what the tone was. My first day on the set, I had no idea what the tone was. I come downstairs, I'm this guy with an idea book, and I'm like, somebody stole my idea book. Does anybody know where my idea book comes? And JJ goes, cut. Whoa. And he walks up to me and he goes, on the set, he walks up and he goes, you're on another show right now. And I didn't realize the tone of this show is this. Ready? Hey, can I talk to you for a second? That is as loud as you get on Felicity. If you watch that show, it's like I would have scenes with Scott Speedman. I've talked about this before, and on the podcast we talk about it, and I can't hear him. We're this close to each other, and he's trying to be so real. He's such a good actor, but it's like he's like, yeah, I mean, the thing with my mom, I got to talk to my dad about that because I'm like, what? I know the lines because I know the script, but I'm like, dude,
how are they picking up your sound? What they have like a parabolic microphone like in the
pretty
NFL?
Much.
What lav? Are you laved and boom,
and
like booms like right here?
Yeah, exactly. No, they take out one of your molars and they insert this mic in it. It's a little weird. Yeah, but that's what I've been messing around with the 360 camera. You know, I mean, we can get into other stuff that I'm doing with talk about it for the epilepsy community, right?
Yep. Talk about a podcast.
Talk about a podcast.
Yep.
Talk about it on video.com and a ton of stuff for the caregiver community. I have that series, the caregiverseries.com, if people can go to it. Really proud of all that work, as you know, obviously. But my oldest son, Jake, has epilepsy. And so I've been an advocate and a content creator and a supporter of and a member of the epilepsy community. But so we're out there shooting stuff all the time. And I'm using the 360 camera right now. And it's unbelievable. Unbelievable. The only thing that I don't do is, which I need to do, is I need to use a lav that's hooked up to that or whatever. But it is, I mean, I love shooting on the fly.
Does it have an input for audio?
Yeah, it does.
Oh, dude.
It does. And also you can control it through your iPhone. So you pull up the 360 app and then you can look at it. But I'm holding it.
Yeah.
So it's that long extension that takes the pole out. A lot of it, it's mainly, a lot of it is like the GoPro type, extreme sports stuff. Or whatever. But I'm doing this thing for the caregiver community, telling people how to self-care and that you just need a 5-minute walk. Yeah. I just got done. I did a 30-minute walk with a buddy this morning. And, and it's just therapy, man. I mean, first of all, you should be exercising, but a 30-minute walk, I walked, 15 minutes uphill and then 15 minutes back down and or around, whatever. We did it. I had no time to do it. No, you always have time for a walk or whatever. So I take that and I'm walking and it's just, so it's I look like, Bob Dole, but still I'm like walking around and it's awesome. Yeah. And then I did it at a coffee shop because I'm like, just go get a cup of coffee. I know you're caring for your loved one who might have cancer or this or that, but just take a break, go get a cup of coffee. It's a vacation for you. Yeah. And so what I did is I shot it in Echo Park at a coffee shop, and a super cool coffee shop. They would never let you shoot in there, right? But I had this I had my laptop, but then I had this, the tripod, and I had the camera, and the 360 was up about this high. So they thought it was like I'm doing FaceTime with something. Yeah. I turned the camera on, that's it. And I went around, went and got a cup of coffee. Remember, it shoots everything. Yep. Got a cup of coffee, came back, sat down, picked up my coffee, took a sip, and then toasted the camera. And then I did voiceover later where I said, all it takes is 5 minutes and you see me at the counter. Just get a cup of coffee. It follows me all the way around. Get a cup of coffee, sit in your favorite coffee. This is your coffee. This is for you and you deserve it. And I toast it.
Oh, that's great. So are you controlling it in post or is it following it?
No. Well, it's shooting everything.
It's shooting everything,
everywhere.
Right, yeah.
So later, you just follow it and you go, they use the gyroscope or whatever it is inside so you're watching it. And as I'm watching it, I'm in a chair that swivels like this. Yeah. And I'm turning and so it follows what I want to watch.
So your monitoring is following your camera direction that it's pointing.
As I'm,
Whoa.
Yeah. And then I can go back because I have the original, which just captures everything. Yeah. But then and I just did this all the way back to here onto me, and that's it. And then I hit stop. And then that's the thing. And then I put voiceover on it.
That's wild.
Yeah. But I'm saying no permits, no permission, no nothing. Yeah. The other thing about that camera is like I can have it here and it could be extended over there, and two of us at Denny's, we can sit there and do a scene. And then I put it over my shoulder here. It's there and it's an over the shoulder on you. The pole goes away. Then you do it and we walk out.
Yeah.
We had breakfast and we shot there.
Yeah.
Didn't ask the manager.
That's always been your MO, which is like, let's just do it.
I love that, I come up with an idea and I just do it. For better or for worse.
Yeah.
A lot of things have never seen the light of day because I do it and I go, it's just not, there's nothing. But when I do have an idea, to be able to just do it, just invest in yourself, buy the right gear, and then that you can afford, and then upgrade it later. But you can't do it without the gear, man.
Right.
So I just feel like, if there's creators out there that are watching this, spend a little bit of money. Again, invest in yourself, buy the right gear. You don't have to go overboard, but do it. The investment is well worth it, but just do it.
Yeah. Understanding what gear you need for, like, not only knowing the purpose of your show, but the purpose of your gear too. Like Bill Burr, I think, does his Monday morning podcast on a Zoom, like H4n or something.
Yeah.
Like it's just the easiest A to B.
So interesting about what you say. So then you would say, okay, well, if you're starting a podcast, why don't you just use somebody that's done 40 podcasts? They know it'll save you making the mistakes because technology, new products come out all the time.
All the time.
So that person who's using, oh no, reel to reel, I've been using that forever. You got to do that and then transfer and the whole thing. No.
Yeah.
And Bill Burr is an example of like that guy, just keep going back to a place like this and go, and I'm sounding like a commercial for Full Compass. But you know what I mean? Like, there's always new products coming out.
Yeah.
And you get older and you're like, I don't want to learn something new. But it is fun and it's exciting.
Yeah. For your home studio, what are you using?
For the home studio, I'm using one of these mics. I had the blue in there, and it was the
Yeti, right? The USB?
Yeti, which I loved, and that was USB. But then I bumped up the quality, and I'm using the Scarlett.
Focusrite Scarlett.
Right. So the Scarlett, it's just the condenser mic is much better. But I have it going right into a laptop, and it's one of my older laptops, but it's fine. And I use Ethernet in that room, but I built that. It's a closet.
Yeah.
It's a closet at my house.
Foamed
Closet, and it's filled with every one of my action figures, over the years, and trading cards and everything. Because my wife is like, "You're not putting any of that crap up," and there's no way. I'm like, "Look at what this fan in Kansas drew of me. It's me in a bikini like Princess Leia." Yeah, well,
dude, thanks so much for talking to us.
Are you kidding
about
me?
VO, gear, all the stuff.
Thank you. I mean, just to be sitting here, it means that I'm doing something in the voiceover world. I can feel good about that. This is all about auditioning and not booking?
Yes.
Is that what this is about? Okay, that's why you have me on? Anytime, man. Anytime.